Hey everybody, welcome back to my Eurovision React Review channel. So if you're a subscriber, here is the official COVID negative certificate that I received today. Like literally when the pharmacist lady gave me the certificate and I saw negativo, I was very loud. Lots of people laughed at me in the pharmacy. I said to her, you have no idea what this means. It's quite emotional. I've literally not seen another human being for 7 days being in quarantine in Italy. Anyway, today's been quite stressful, I'm not going to lie to you. So today was, well, first of all, amazing. So it was the second rehearsals, which meant in the press centre, we got to see the whole, like, I felt like a little bit like a kid in a candy store. Like, oh, like, should I be seeing this? Because you actually get to see what we will see. Obviously they'll edit. I thought they would just have a camera on the stage, as in like just looking at the stage, but no, in the online press centre, you actually get to see what the camera will look like when it gets projected in the semi-finals. So I sat there being like, oh, should I be allowed to see this? And it's quite interesting actually, across the middle of the screen, it was like, do not record. So there's a few people in the comments that did say, like, can you not just get rid of that? Like, we know we're not allowed to record it. I think once you start getting used to it, because some people are saying it inhibits what you see, but like once you start getting used to it, it's fine. It didn't really bother me. Before I talk about that, the first part is obviously the vlog. How was Shane's Eurovision day? What day are we now? Day 6? Is it day 6, day 5? I don't know. See, quarantine has made me go crazy. So I did an interview today with Marius from Switzerland. That should go up before this video actually. The nicest guy. I really hope he qualifies. I'll talk about my kind of impressions of his second rehearsal today. That was kind of cool. What else happened? Oh, stupidly, I realised that I live in Milan, as most of you now know if you're a subscriber. I didn't check the last train from Turin to Milan. Yeah, it's before the end of the show. So I've got tickets to the semi-final 1. I've got a ticket to the jury final for semi-final 2, which I can't sell. So it looks like I'm going to that because I don't want to waste like 120 quid. I got tickets to semi-final 2. Anyway, I can't get back to Milan. So it looks like I sorted out today. I spoke to a lovely lady on Airbnb. So I'm going to have to locate myself to Turin on Tuesday and come in to Milan for work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This Eurovision season is costing me a freaking fortune. So that was sorted. So it looks like I'm moving to Turin next week. It's just so I can watch the shows. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to commute back into work. That happened, obviously. And just being part of this online press centre thing. I go back to work physically tomorrow. That's what this now means. Which means that obviously I'm going to really have to multitask. I will find opportunities to kind of go in to the online press centre and watch the rehearsals. Because it's quite good. They do 3 runs and you get to see all 3. And they're 15-20 minute slots, so I can probably schedule to at least watch 1 of the 3 of each. I'll work it out if I don't get fired first. I'll work it out. Okay, so today started off with a bang. Albania. We didn't see Albania. You probably worked this out right now. There's some amazing people on YouTube that are covering this, both physically and online. So you probably now realise that we never got to see Albania. But I've seen Albania since. They have reposted it on the online press centre because a lot of people kicked off, rightfully so. But then again, I was there being like, I'm in Italy, and also I still feel I'm a bit of a fraud in this online press centre, so I don't want to start kicking off. So I was like, oh, I appreciate we get to have this experience, and I understand, COVID can't mean that we're all there. It would be quite nice if we had a similar experience as those in there, because a lot of people were kicking off being like, well, it's obviously started because I'm watching wee blogs, I can hear it in the background. It's like, I'm not shading my online press brethren, but it's rightfully so. Some people were annoyed because some people normally go there physically, and obviously due to restrictions they've not been able to. So you'd like to think that you were getting the same opportunities press coverage wise as those that are in the press centre. So my first one was Citi Zeni, and it was a real pleasant surprise. Like I said, it was the first time I logged in. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm actually seeing the proper camera angles, and I'm like writing like a fool. I don't have those notes. This is a quick vlog before I go to bed, actually. I'm really, really tired. I've literally just come back. I had a celebratory meal with my friends to celebrate post-COVID, back to reality. What do I want to say about Citi Zeni? Oh, my moment of the day. It was really funny. So it was the first time they were obviously like live recording, and so we could hear everything. And so it took a while for them to realise when they need to turn their mics off between the takes. And in the Latvian one, we just heard everything. So in Latvian, if I knew Latvian, I would know what they were speaking to about. It was quite funny. After the first rehearsal, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Yanis. I think it was the bass player. He was just like, he was just breathing into his mic. He clearly had worked really hard, bless him. And then the best line, was it before the second thing or the third thing? There was a conversation between Yanis and the producer. I can't remember what the line, it was legendary. It was like, oh, we don't care, just kill us. We're not getting through to the final anyway. I think the producer was asking them to do something, and they were like, yeah, sure. I don't know whether it was dangerous or whatever. He was like, just kill us if you want. We're not getting to the final. And I was like, because of that, I hope you do. I really, really enjoyed that. What I did realise though, from that performance, then I kept watching the performances afterwards with that obviously gaping hole, the thing that we're not allowed to talk about. If you project the lights down rather than out, it's not as noticeable. And Latvia was the first one to do it, and then a few other countries after that did that. So there are obviously lights in the semicircle thing. If the lights project down, then you don't really see the black gaping hole. I thought that was quite interesting. Lithuania, I must have missed something with this. I think I was still like a kid in a toy shop with this one, because I was just like watching Monika, and then I was like looking at Twitter and everyone was like, oh my gosh, the black screen. I get it. So I think on the third run, after I was seeing Twitter going kind of crazy about how bad the black screen was for Monika, I was watching it and I was like, oh yeah, you are affected by this. And she did say in my interview, like the Lithuanian delegation or producers back in Lithuania are really trying to work with this. They've still got some time to sort it out. I just think I was just watching her, and there's this moment where when they go into the spooky bit where it goes really, really blue, and the lights go blue on her face. I really liked that. I think I just watched that and I was like, oh, I like this, and I obviously forgot everything else. I haven't got the critical eye. This is probably going to be the last time I'm going to do this like this, and I will say, like, I watched one or two things today on YouTube, like Alicia Michelle, go and like, regardless of what you think about Alicia Michelle, I watched one or two of hers today and I was like, oh, see, you're doing really what I should be doing. I haven't got that analytical eye. And ESC Tom, love him, Irish guy in Shanghai. He's doing YouTube shorts after each one. So he's in the online press center and he's just doing quick shorts that just give a quick summary of what he's seeing. I think this is probably gonna be the last time I do something like this, because I need to get back into work, because obviously I need to work to live. Anyway, I liked Lithuania, even though there's a lot of kind of people saying that it's looking like it's not likely to qualify because of the black hole. Switzerland, I spoke to Marius about today. Also, I got a bit kind of like a Eurovision fan, like, ooh, when he was like, oh, I spoke to Sasha today, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, you spoke to Sasha. That's how sad I am. That's the sort of sad life I now lead. I actually really enjoyed this, and it's not because obviously I enjoyed it before obviously interviewing him today, and this isn't because obviously I've advocated for this song recently. I just think it's a good song, and he performs it quite well. He's obviously had some choreo, and what I mean by that, don't get me wrong, he's not dancing, but there's a lot of movement of the arms, which I think is quite tasteful. There's projection of a broken heart on his face and on the floor, which is quite effective. Yeah, you can see that Sasha's got her hand over this. He's in good hands. I saw something on Twitter about Susanna from Wee Wee Blogs. I hope it's not right, because I think even if you don't like a song, there's a video of her saying, "Oh, is he gonna sing this again?" And then she swears. I'm hoping it's because she doesn't hate it that much. I think even if you hate a song, you could be a little bit respectful. This is not me throwing shade at her or Wee Wee Blogs, but if that's true, it is kind of disappointing. Anyway, Slovenia. I was expecting a little bit more from Slovenia. Not gonna lie. I think, you know, it's on song 4, and Latvia gives kind of high energy. And I know it's got the 70s vibe, and they've got the glitter ball, which is good. It's a focal point, and obviously as a result, you're not looking at the back. Kind of like their 70s suits. There's one or two times where the camera pans into the lead singer and he does a nice smile. I think it's low-hanging fruit and easy pickings to say that there could be a little bit more energy from the lead singer, whose name escapes me now. But the keyboardist is given energy, high energy. I just want them to look like they're having fun, and they all look like they're having fun. And I just want the lead singer to relax a little bit. But there is one or two moments where he does a nice smile to show he's enjoying himself. It's a tough slot, that 4th place. Ukraine. Oh, what is that real horrific phrase that we say? And then winners vibes. I watched it being like, because we are watching it being like, this probably might win. And then as a result of that, you do watch it being like, is this a worthy winner? It really is. Like, I loved all 3 of the performances that I watched this morning. You would have seen it. I think you can see it. I can't remember what's been released, but when they sway, there's projections on the floor, not of them, but basically they sway, and when they do it for the second time, they've changed the outfits. It's really effective. My only thing is, my favourite part of that song is the end, the last 20 seconds with the that goes on. It feels like it goes on for a little bit too long. All I will say. So you've got the break dancer in the middle, and underneath the break dancer, you've got these 2 hands projected on the LED screens underneath. I think the imagery for that 20 seconds is a bit too samey. That's all I'll say, but I certainly got winners vibes from that. Bulgaria, well, seems I didn't really have much expectation for Bulgaria. I was actually quite surprised. I tell you what, I think other delegations need to look at other countries to see how to deal with that sun. Because they've got that thing, which I think William from Woo Woo Blogs described as half a virus, but it's actually sound speakers. It's really clever because it actually takes your attention away from what's above it. So if you make more of a thing of the part that you can see through, it's actually quite clever. I thought that today, and actually they carry on that imagery of the sound speakers, that 2 of the instruments are raised on platforms, and underneath the platform you've got images of the speakers. It works quite well. And actually the staging changes 3 colours, and I think a few people have said about Bulgaria's song that it is a bit repetitive, as in, like, you know, after a minute and 20 minutes you're kind of done. But actually it's quite clever because I can't remember the 3 colours, but they've split up the 3 minutes in 3 different colours. So when you're kind of getting bored, they give us another colour, and that kind of makes you kind of sit up again, which I thought was quite good. And I will say, this is a band that's been put together of kind of experts in what they do, and you can clearly see that. Like the lead singer particularly, he oozes. He's a seasoned performer. I'm getting a bit of Portugal Black Mamba from last year from Bulgaria, which does worry me. And I say worry me, I don't want to wish ill on any entry, but it's these kind of things, isn't it? If Bulgaria goes through, then which one of mine that I really like is not going to get through? Then my connection got a bit of an issue. I don't know why they kept throwing me out. So my coverage of the other ones was not as good. But I managed to see significant parts of the following. Netherlands, she looks beautiful. She's so composed and so confident. I have nothing really to say about this other than it looks really, really polished. Not in a sterile way, but it's the first time now I'm actually kind of comparing Netherlands and Greece together. I guess because they're two kind of slow songs that are quite close to each other. It's a really strong entry. Netherlands are definitely qualifying with this, and yeah, she looks beautiful. Like it looks like a cutout. Like the hair is on point, everything. I quite liked it. I think I saw something from Alicia Michelle today where she was basically not critical of the staging, but saying that she would stage it slightly differently. I mean, it's black and white. And I think this year, with that black thing in the background, dark colours, go for it. Embrace the black. Croatia, yeah. So a bit like Poland, I noticed if you go for the colour palette of blue and black, the back is not an issue. And that was the same, what I could see from Croatia. Because they've gone for the colour scheme of the lights and staging of blue and black, it takes away from that blimmin' black thing in the background. Nice, vocally on point. It was nice. Honestly, it was, I have to admit, I've already admit, Netherlands, Croatia, Austria, Greece, these four I was having connection issues with, so take that as you will. Austria, I was pleasantly surprised with what I saw. I was going in with low expectations. I said I was a bit nervous about them being in that cylinder and thinking it was a bit static, but with the camera angles, that kind of worry has been taken away from me now. She is vocally supported by backing singers, and artists have done that in the past. I do find, though, jury finds you out in the past where vocally you've been carried by backing singers. I've got one or two in my mind. They don't tend to do as well. But nonetheless, it sounded nice. High energy. I've got high energy. She looked like she was enjoying, but just a bit worried about her, really. Pia, is it? I'm hoping she's just not even looking at the internet or engaging with anything, because she's a young lady, and I'm a bit worried about her. But ultimately, she looked like she was enjoying it, so good. Again, dark colours, red and black, really, really works. I can see why the young people like this, and actually, I think they've got young people in mind with this staging as well, because it is very youth friendly, and I quite liked it. I said winners vibes with Ukraine earlier. Greece, like at the end of the day, if you're a subscriber, my relationship with this song, I've never said I disliked it. I was watching this today, being like, oh. The best thing I can compare it to is Dammy Im, when I saw that stage, but I obviously didn't get to see the online press. It was the first semi-final, but I'd heard wind that the staging was good and it matched the hype of the song. Amanda is supported by very, 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 very good staging, and the whole thing works really well, in my opinion. I actually haven't seen any other commentary of Amanda today, actually, because this is when I was trying to organise my COVID appointment. And since then, I've obviously quickly had to watch these, interview Marius, and then run out. So for Greece, Portugal, and Albania, I don't really know what anyone else has said because I haven't checked out. So what I could be saying could be completely off-piste. But I liked it. And again, blue and black works this year. Portugal, beautiful. I mean, we got a notification in the online press. In fact, we got an email. I didn't see it. Someone said in the online press chats, check your email, because it all went a bit quiet, and because Portugal was supposed to do their rehearsal, and then we got the email saying someone had tested positive, which is obviously one of the singers. We could see that, right? There was someone missing. I thought it looked beautiful. And again, the Portuguese delegation clearly weren't. I think the reason why MARO was probably quite relaxed in my interview, because they weren't worried about the backdrop, the sun, because the focus on them. And I love the camera angles on the faces of the singers. They're totally in tune with that song. It's the emotion of that song that sells that song. And when the people are singing it in the way that they look like they're believing what they're singing, I think we buy into it. I loved it, I will be honest, but after my MARO interview, I've kind of gone on a bit of a saudade train of the last few days in lockdown. And then finally, Albania. I wasn't sure about the new costume, the new outfit. I didn't mind the first outfit. I think what was clear from what I could see, but I had seen something on Twitter, so I can't say this is new and everyone must know it by now. There was some real shoddy camera angle work for this one. When they dance in unison and they should be building that energy in the second part of the song, the camera angles just don't work. So the energy that they're trying to build on stage isn't transmitted at home because of awful camera angles. So for Ronela, I wouldn't like to cross Ronela. She looks like she could be quite scary. So they need to sort out those camera angles. I liked the colour palette though. That was an entry that I generally was looking at the back and I couldn't, the black hole behind her doesn't disadvantage her at all. It's not as noticeable in her staging. I do like the colour palette. I've already said that. We do know that the choreography, we could see the choreography is, I didn't see the first rehearsal, but from what I can see, I can kind of guess she's kept it the same. There's been no changes there. I don't like her shoes, that's all I'll say. I was watching it and there was one or two times with the camera angles panning down to her feet. I was like, not a lover of the shoe. But it's a strong opener. I will say, actually, if they get the camera angles right, then I'll take this comment back. But actually, watching the first part, it almost makes me think Latvia maybe should open the show. From what I saw today, like energy. And Ronela gives it, but the camera angles unfortunately let her down. So let's hope they sort that out, because I do want Albania to qualify. I do really, really like Sekret. So yeah, that's probably the last time I'm going to do it like that, because after that, there are so many people on YouTube doing great analyses, much better than I could do. So there is a platform on YouTube somewhere. And do check out ESE Tom, because I do like him and I do follow him. And I do think Alicia Michelle does give really good feedback. So yeah, those are my thoughts. If you're still here at the end, please do subscribe to my channel. As you can see, my eyes are really tired. They're kind of bloodshot now. I really need to go to bed. And do click the notification button to be informed of my videos, if and when they come. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.